Mike Bailey wins the British J Cup. All the championships will be on the line at the WXW Germany 21st anniversary show. Jonathan Gresham has entered the WXW 16 Carat Gold Tournament. Meiko Satamura retains her NXT UK Women's Championship. Jamie Hayter advances in the TBS Championship Tournament. Plus, our biggest announcement ever. Ever. Wait to the end of the episode. It's huge. It changes the landscape completely. Hello, everybody, and welcome to TNT, a Great British Wrestling podcast for Great British Wrestling, as featured on Bodyslam.net. I am your host, the Great British Acco, Mr. Andrew Moore, Andy to most, and of course, I am joined by my co-host. He is the Pro Wrestling T-shirt champion of the world, Big Daddy Dan.
Oh, yes, and I am wearing a Zack Sabre Jr. t-shirt today, and I am so excited about our biggest ever piece of news that we are going to be giving a little bit later on.
Huge announcement right at the end of the show, so keep tuned. We will be talking about Zack Sabre Jr. in a little while, so it is very appropriate that you are wearing that t-shirt today as we talk about some of the NJPW happenings. But closer to home to begin with, it was, of course, this weekend, RevPro UK's British J Cup. It's their annual tournament. They didn't have it last year, of course, due to COVID, but they had it this year. They had international talent there. They had some of the best British juniors there. And, of course, our very own Big Daddy Dan was there.
I was indeed. It was very close to home. It was 5 miles from my home, so I was very happy.
It happened. Got some great photos. You really did.
Thank you very much. They've been quite popular as well. The RevPro British J Cup was held at the Gordon Craig Theatre in Stevenage with approximately 900 people in attendance.
Wow. It was packed.
Seriously, it was packed. It was absolutely huge, and it was brilliant to see that many people at a UK show.
It shows that Stevenage is crying out for some wrestling.
It is, and it's always busy. It was a Southside hotbed back in the day, and people remember because some of the wrestlers who'd been there before were over like Rover, I tell you. We started off with Michael Oku versus LJ Cleary in a J Cup qualifying match. Cleary was pure heel, but I'll be honest with you, I was really surprised at this match, and I chatted with some of the people that were there. It was very pantomime-y to start with. It didn't feel like a Rev Pro match. It felt more like a family-friendly match.
Yeah, I mean, Cleary's a phenomenal performer all around. So, yes, he likes to have a bit of fun. I certainly remember some of the antics Modern Height used to get up to, like doing that. They did the transform into like one of them got on their shoulders and then they would do a code breaker, or it was something like that. But they certainly like to have fun in their matches, so you can see that in his character still. But a phenomenal worker.
He is a great worker, and he did have a lot of fun up until Michael Oku got the Boston Crab and made him submit.
Yeah, always weird that one, Boston Crab from Michael Oku.
Yeah. Connor Mills then took on JJ Gale. Mills was definitely the heel in this, there's no two ways about it, and he won with a beautiful high-flying move. We then had Luke Jacobs versus Robbie X. Robbie X, oh my god, people love Robbie X. He was so over in Stevenage. Everybody wanted him to win, but he didn't. Luke Jacobs absolutely battered him, powered him down. It was very mat-based, and yeah, Luke did well. He won with a lariat.
Yeah, I was surprised, obviously, at the end because there was a lot of last-minute changes to this British J Cup, starting with Luke Jacobs, because that was originally supposed to be
Chris Ridgway.
Did he replace Chris Ridgway? Yeah,
he replaced Chris Ridgway. Yeah. And then we had Kid Lykos versus Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kid Lykos was replacing Francesca Laguerra.
Yeah, so yeah, unfortunately, he.
Lykos was very over, and Bailey was hugely over. Bailey won this one with a 450 splash. We then had Damo versus Yosuji. This match was everything you want of a heavyweight match. They were slapping the living bejesus out of each other. Damo was the hitman for the Legion. And at the end, Yosuji wins with a top rope shooting star press.
Whoa, wow.
I'm not expecting that.
Yeah, since joining RevPro UK, he is busting out moves that I just would not expect from a guy his size. He's hugely athletic. I love that he's getting the gimmick now of this very traditional Japanese, somebody who's got a huge respect for his culture. And so I really I love the music. And what a big win. I mean, Mark Haskins recently as well, and now Big Damo, huge.
At the end, Big Damo shook hands with Yosuji. But then Lucian Phillips came out and battered Yosuji afterwards, and that leads up to Lucian Phillips versus Yosuji at today's show. I met Yosuji afterwards, fleetingly. I didn't get to get a photo. He is a big guy. He's the same height as I am, and he's well put together. And I did think of you because they did have fans for sale.
I want a Yosuji fan. I'm going to get one when I'm in St. Neots on the 27th.
If it had been more specifically Yosuji, I would have got you one, but they were quite generic.
Okay.
But I did think of you. We then had the 6-man tag of RKJ and Sunshine Machine versus Aussie Open and Will Ospreay. RKJ was hugely over. Stevenage loves RKJ.
It was huge for Southside, you say. He was the last cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, he was indeed. And this was a great match. Aussie Open are big guys. I know that we've discussed this before, and you pointed out that Carl Fletcher's not small. No, he's not. He really isn't. And Dunkzilla, he's a big old boy. He really is. And yeah, it was a great match. It really, really was. Absolutely brilliant finish. Kyle pinned Chuck Mambo after a 3-way where Aussie Open do their 2-man finisher where they spin them round and then
the fidget spinner, yeah.
The fidget spinner. But to finish the finish spinner off, Will Ospreay then jumps off and does a cutter in the middle of the fidget spinner.
Oh, seriously, just kill somebody, aren't you? I mean, how was Ospreay responded to in the?
I'll be completely honest with you. I'd say about a third of the people there were there for Ospreay. He was very over. There was no negativity towards him. There was negativity towards him as far as him being a wrestling heel,
yeah,
as you would expect, and being against RKJ, but none for the reasons that you are.
Yes, he's such a great heel. He really, really is. He is absolutely thriving in this role that he's been given.
What I also loved about this, with his heel work, is he read the room. This show had a lot of kids there. I'd say about a third of the audience were under 18. And he didn't swear. Because generally, he is a sweary man.
Yeah.
But he read the room and he didn't swear. He was still rude to the crowd and rude to everybody, but he knew what limit to stick to. So that was great. The final of the J Cup, Michael Oku versus Luke Jacobs versus
Connor Mills.
And
Mike
Bailey. Yeah, so the first elimination was Michael Oku pinning Connor Mills. Mills had attacked Oku throughout. This has got to be the end of Destination Everywhere.
I think in RevPro UK, I think it's the right idea to split the two.
Well, they were tagging together tonight against Sunshine Machine, so I look forward to hearing what's happened.
Yeah, I look forward to that one on RPW On Demand.
The second elimination was a shocker. Speedball Mike Bailey eliminated Michael Oku with a Spanish fly. This was not popular. Bailey got booed, which surprised me, bearing in mind how over he was, but everybody loved the OJMO.
I think you should have, probably the right Beckham would have had to have Jacob take his head off, and then he would have been Because I'm assuming Jacobs then went on to bully Bailey for a little while, and then Bailey got fed the comeback.
You'd think that. No, it was very 50-50.
Okay.
Wrestling inside the ring, outside the ring. There was an absolutely beautiful false finish with a rope break by Luke Jacobs. Basically, then Luke Jacobs went for an elbow, missed, got kicked, put into a small package, and then hit a small package shoulder breaker. I can't even describe the noise when Luke Jacobs' shoulders hit the ground. Everybody was very happy that Speedball Mike Bailey won. And what's lovely is Speedball Mike Bailey then went around all the crowd afterwards, took photos with absolutely everybody with the trophy, was very approachable. It was a really good show. I would give it 4.5 sugars.
Sounds like a fantastic show. It's a show that I'm really looking forward to watching on RPD On Demand when it gets there. We've talked about it before, RevPro, just putting on some great shows, and the fact that they've got access to Ospreay and Aussie Open just gives them a little bit of an advantage, because the only other British companies they work for are in Ireland.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like a great show, and I'm super jealous that you were there and I was not, but that's okay. I will live with that. I will regret that decision for the rest of the I'm gutted I wasn't there. It sounds like you had an awesome time. You met a lot of people out there though, didn't you?
I met some of our friends from my Big Fat Geek life. I met quite a few people I knew, and I saw Yosuji there and spoke to him. I spoke to Robbie X, who's not as tall as I am by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a hell of a lot more ripped. He's looking really, really good at the moment. He seems to have, I don't know if he's been talking to Yestin Reese, who's also looking really good at the moment, but his abs are ripped.
Just a phenomenal guy, and good show. Of course, I just want to...
You were just insinuating. I also talked to another podcast. I met up with the Catch, Grapple and Cheap Pops podcast and had a chat with them, who were a lovely set of guys. And please do have a listen to them. I believe this week they're going to be interviewing Eric Watts, SWW wrestler. So that should be quite an interesting...
interesting little interview there. But... I just actually wanted to, because we mentioned obviously there were some changes to the card. Originally, the Young Guns were supposed to be in the semi or the main event, I guess. But of course, Ethan Allen is currently out injured. He released a post this week that the unfortunate news that the injury is worse than first expected, and it's possible that he is going to be out for up to a year. And we just want to wish him the very best of luck in his recovery, and just hope that, and we really look forward to seeing him back soon, because let's face it, the Young Guns have just been
brilliant this year.
Just an amazing tag team on the UK scene, and it's very good. For so long. On a similar note, Chris Ridgway also posted a note on his Twitter regarding his recent absences from a couple of shows, where he talks about mental health, he talks about anxiety, he talks about ADHD and other things. And it's just really because we must forget Chris Ridgway is hard as fuck, and he shows that by openly discussing these things. As far as I'm concerned, he's shown that he is more than quadruple hard, and it's great for people like ourselves who do suffer from mental health issues, partners as well. So mental health is so important out there, and it's okay to not be okay at times.
Amen.
Exactly. Let's move on to WXW Germany.
Yeah, let's have a look, because they have made some amazing announcements about the 16 Carat Gold Tournament.
Mr. Jonathan Gresham, the ROH Pure Champion himself.
Former.
Former. He was former. He did lose the belt. But Jonathan Gresham is one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. as far as I'm concerned. The only thing I can think there's never maybe his height that's holding back, because he's just so good and it's just ridiculous. I want to see him versus Brian Danielson now that there's a possibility that type of match could happen.
How have I not thought of that match?
I mean, I don't understand. I said it when we had the Gary Ward interview, when we talked about him coming to do the ROH Pure show. I said somebody whose name hasn't been mentioned, and I can't understand why people weren't thinking Jonathan Gresham, Brian Danielson. It's going to be an incredible match, and I'm sure it will happen soon. He's facing our very own Gabriel Kidd, and we'll talk about that just a little bit later. Of course, with the WXW, he wasn't the only person announced for the 16 Carat Gold Tournament, which they announced last week will be returning next year. There'll also be the former Impact and MLW star AC Romero, as well as the reigning 01 World International Junior Heavyweight Champion Fuminori Abe.
That's 3 amazing names. I love AC Romero. I know he's an acquired taste, but he's acquired my fandom.
He's a big guy. He lost a lot of weight recently. He's been working on that whilst he was part of Impact. I know he's no longer part of Impact anymore, but yeah, I'm sure we'll see him around the scene. He's going to have an experience of a lifetime competing over in Germany. I think this is the first time he'll be actually competing internationally. So good luck to AC Romero on that. I don't know much about Fuminori Abe. Sorry. It's one of the say 01. It's not one of the ones I typically watch. I do know he's also a big part of Big Japan Wrestling as well. So quite a big name, and look forward to seeing who else enters the tournament, because it looks like it's going to be a great 3-day show. It's just going to be, I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
But prior to that, Germany, WXW Germany will actually be celebrating the 21st anniversary on December the 18th. And they have announced that all of their championship belts will be on the line, including Axel Tischer, the former Alexander Wolf of WWE, NXT, NXT UK. He recently defeated the undefeatable Marius Al-Ani to gain the WWX Unified World title, and it will be on the line, as well as their tag team championships, which are currently held by the Arrows of Hungary. I know you're a big fan of the Arrows of Hungary.
Massively love them.
I believe their women's championship will be on the line. Sorry, I can't remember who's the current champion at the moment for women's, as well as the Shotgun Championship, which is Michael Knight. They've also announced that Coronoir, very own the superstar Coronoir, will be there, as well as Dutch superstar Jörn Simmons. I think that would be a great main event, him versus Axel Tischer. That would be a great show. So I think that would be possibly be the main event.
I'll be interested to see, and that is one that I will watch. I don't watch a lot of WXW, but I will be going out of my way to watch that one.
They've just put up the Blitz Tournea, something we talked about a little while ago, because I think there's about a 3-week or possibly a month delay for WXW shows. Of course, you can go on WXW now. We won't for the 18th anniversary, but we will sign up during the 16 Carat Gold Tournament, so we can follow it up to date, as long as there are at least one British competitor to follow during the tournament, of course.
You know who I think would be an addition to WXW?
Could it be the great British superstar Chris Ridgway?
No, but that would work as well. All right, screw you, fine.
Gabriel Kidd?
No. Ian Skinner.
Oh yes, Ian Skinner would make a great addition to WXW Germany. He would have a phenomenal time training over there. We know his ethics when it comes to when wrestling training. He would just absorb everything, and it's so professional. WXW Germany.
That's why I think it fit in.
It's just so well done. Everything about it. Rules are followed more clearly. Their referees are stricter. I love the whole package of WXW Germany. So I love the fact that we can watch it on WWE Network. I know we don't talk about it often because of the delay, but maybe a couple of those big shows, maybe we will pick up subscriptions here and there, just to keep you up to date with those big shows. Anyway, should we do some recapping and reviewing?
Aye, let's do that. Shall we start off with NXT UK?
Yeah, why not?
Rampage Brown versus Flash Morgan Webster was how we started this week.
It was a really good match, actually. You know what? I can't fault this match whatsoever. Okay. Rampage dominated from the start. Then they fed the false comeback for Flash Morgan Webster, and then the way he just shut it down right there. And then I thought, yeah, I like that match.
I didn't.
You didn't?
It was exactly the same as his last matches against his last heavyweight opponents. I really felt that it was just more of the same.
Do you think he fed Flash Morgan a bit too much? Would you like to have seen a bit more of a clean, dominant win?
I'd have liked to have seen a 30-second just bang, bang, bang done. But that's just me. I felt that the whole storyline with Flash Morgan Webster challenging the heavyweights has been done to death. I know there's only been 2, but this was
3. It was Wolfgang was the start, then it was Shaw.
I meant 2 before this one,
and then Rampage. I'll admit he's put on some size, Flash, which is going to help him in the long run. He still needs to put on a bit more size for me to be taken seriously as a competitor. He is a great worker, but
yes.
As you say, I possibly do feel he got too much offense in. I did like the match, I still do, but I see where you're coming from, and I can see, because especially after what happens a little bit later, which we'll get into. Carry on.
We then had a little video of Mustache Mountain in the back with an apology for throwing in the towel. Now, you believe that the towel was thrown in on purpose, don't you?
I do. I felt that apology was so insincere.
Not only was it so insincere, did you hear the subtle wording that was used? With Trent saying, "I'm on track again." No, we're on track for a tag team.
Yeah, exactly. He's desperate to win some gold. So I can see this. It can play out 2 ways. Are they going to give the win and have Mustache Mountain defeat Pretty Deadly, let Tyler Blake do it, but then on a rematch, actually have them lose the titles immediately back to Pretty Deadly, possibly at a pay-per-view, if they start to get a bit more crowd back?
Well, it was announced that Mustache Mountain will now be in the Fatal 4-Way as opposed to the 3-way match that was going to be versus Symbiosis, Smith and Carter, and Mastiff and Stars, who've you renamed
Stiff.
Indeed. If Mustache Mountain win that, it completely emasculates the other 3 teams. There's no point in continuing.
To a degree, yes, but let's look back at this. Carter and Smith have 1 win in total.
1 win!
1 win in total. I'm 100% sure in this. We checked the record book since NXT UK has written. They have 1 win. Stiff are a put-together tag team of 2 people who they had no idea what to do with. So they threw them together as a team. And that's the same for Symbiosis. The NXT UK tag scene right now is appalling. Carter and Smith are the best, and they've been treated the worst, which has just been ridiculous.
Surely Pretty Deadly are the best.
Well, the best of the non-champions, pre-Deadly
Okay, yeah.
Alpha. But you know, they are desperate to have guys like Kings of the North, Smoking Aces,
God, Kings of the North in NXT.
Young Guns
Oh,
in NXT UK, Kings of the North.
no, they wouldn't use Young Guns properly. There would. I would
too young,
not
aren't
want
they?
Young Guns to be going in there because they would just be used in the same way they've used Dan Maloney and Andy Wild.
Okay, here we go. We're going to play
Brookside.
AEW, WWE, or other. The Young Guns.
Other
Where?
Japan.
Man, yeah.
It's the only place that would treat them with the respect they deserve.
Yeah, I think they could have, obviously not this year, but maybe next year, if he's back in time, they could go do the World Tag League that they do every year. And I think they would just be a phenomenal addition to something like that. So
you put them against Aussie Open in Japan, and that's it. They'll be made for life.
That match, both matches are just so good, especially that 9th anniversary match where Aussie Open were the good guys and the Young Guns. I think the dynamic worked a little bit better that way than the second match, but again, so just great. But as you say, the NXT UK tag team scene, you got subculture.
That Sunshine Machine, they could make it in the NXT.
They would be a great addition to the thing, but they would be treated like Oliver and Carr.
They would. Talking about people, Xia Brookside.
Yeah.
Calling Daddy.
Oh, little bratty performance from Brookside, wasn't it? Bratty Brookside.
Finally, we're getting a heel Xia Brookside.
Yeah, but do we have to get a whiny, bratty one?
I think
it kind of works, don't get me wrong.
I was then very surprised by the next match. Angel Hayes had her debut against Isla Dawn. I love Angel Hayes. I love what she's doing in ICW, and we'll talk about her again in a little bit. Isla Dawn looked far more impressive than she has done in recent matches, far more aggressive. What did you think?
Well, she was using Danny Luna's moveset. So I don't know if she caught that as like, I've gained the power of thing. I don't know, the heart of Millie and the deviousness of Ginny. What I didn't like was how the match finished. So that was just, you're pulling their hair for too long. Disqualified.
I'm sorry. Are you complaining about a referee's decision?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually completely. I'm for the booking decision to have it done like this. You know, it could have been. It just should have been a bit of a bigger disqualification if you were going to go that route. Maybe have a choker in the ropes or something.
My mind is blown.
But excessive hair pulling. You know. Even I am rolling my eyes at excessive hair pulling. Because there was nothing leading up to it either. It was just, and then
just double standards, Andy.
I don't understand what they're doing with Isla Dawn. I don't like it. Angel Hayes is a superstar waiting to happen. She got a little bit to show that. If she does eventually go to NXT UK, she will do well.
We shall see. There was then an A-Kid promo that was watched by Sam Gradwell. I've been to Spain. It's too hot and I got my phone nicked.
Yeah. Gotta love Gradwell.
Yes.
And this is literally how they used to build up his matches beforehand. So no doubt we're either getting that next week or the week after.
Yeah. We then had Stevie Turner explain to Danny Luna that she only feels things in 2D, not 4D. So it looks like we're going to be having Stevie Turner versus Danny Luna.
Yeah, because Danny Luna will only take 3 seconds or something. But yeah, it'll be a match, I suppose. Sure, they'll put it together. I'm pretty sure they'll pull off a decent match. I just don't. I'm not sure if I get the whole 4D thing.
No, I know. I agree. But hey, there we go. Stevie Turner then calls out Danny Luna. Yeah, we had that. Dragunov then comes out. Ilya. He promises to represent and thanks A-Kid for the quality of the match. And then out comes Rampage. He said, I'd love to be the next man to fight you for that title.
I like this. This is the Rampage I wanted to see.
because he then dropped him.
Absolutely dropped him. One punch, boom. Ilya like, you're not the only giant. I toppled giants before, and I respect you, and I just love Rampage. I don't need your respect. I just need your title. Yes, please.
It was exactly the Rampage that I wanted to see when I was so excited about Rampage coming in.
Yeah, I still want that Rampage to win. If they get that pay-per-view next, or a pay-per-view soon, now that we're kind of moving back into that possibility of realms that NXT UK could once again hold an NXT UK takeover. I want Rampage winning the title at that whatever NXT UK takeover comes.
We then had Tearman suggesting that he will need a third glass at the table.
Yeah, I like this again. Tearman, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Jordan Devlin, or is it going to be Charlie Dempsey?
Oh God, don't be Jordan Devlin, please. I like Tearman.
I think it's got to be Dempsey, hasn't it? You know, it's building. You've had Gallas interrupt them twice.
What about bringing in one of the guys that's just been used as a job person? What about bringing in Josh Morrell? Or what about
Danny Jones?
Yeah, that would work.
Danny Jones. It's for me. It's got to be somebody who suits their style of thing. And to be honest, Charlie Dempsey suits that down to a T. So would somebody like Danny Jones, that vicious, dangerous attacking style. Looking forward to it.
Nathan Fraser then, I would say, calls out Mandrews, but kisses Mandrews' arse. So we're gonna have...
he politely asked for a match.
It will be a good match.
It'll be a great match, but I don't know, politely asking for a match. Yeah, fine. I'm going to go find Johnny Saint now. Sorry. We don't mean to take the mic that much, but come on, guys.
I do. We had Ginny versus Mako Satamura.
You know, I watched this twice.
Yeah.
Because first time I watched it, I was like, I don't know. And then I watched it again. That's a great match.
It is.
On the second viewing, that was a great match. I don't think I quite saw it on the first one, but the second time around when I watched it again, I'm like, yeah, this is a great match. Because I didn't do my notes that night. I actually watched. I was feeling quite ill on that day, so I kind of just watched it, and then the next day rewatched it while doing my notes. And yes, brilliant match.
What was your feelings towards Ginny in this match?
She showed some great wrestling. They showed that in certain exchanges, Ginny had the power advantage. In certain exchanges, she had the grappling advantage, but Meiko typically had the striking advantage. She fed Ginny a lot. I would have liked to have seen her feed Ginny a bit more and have had a true comeback, because I felt like it was more move for move and no one really ever gained complete control. And I
definitely agree with that.
When I watched it, I was like, I think that's what was like, oh, I'm not 100% sure I'm watching it. Again, yes, it was a great match, but if there was one little thing to the match, it was the fact that it just went back and forth. No one had any, you know, Ginny wasn't able to build up any real heat. And I'd like to do that.
I wanted Ginny to win this match.
She deserves it. I mean, that's 3 times now that she has failed to grasp the title. I guess once with Toni Storm, once with
Kaylee Ray,
and now of course with Meiko. She's got to be NXT UK life for her, hasn't she?
Why didn't they have B. Priestley interrupt? Why didn't they give Ginny the get out of B. Priestley?
Have Meiko feud with Davenport, keep her away from Ginny, have Ginny drop the title to a returning Aoife Valkyrie, and then have her drop the title to Blair Davenport.
Yeah. I felt this was the wrong decision. It was the one thing that left me feeling great match, absolutely brilliant match. I just felt the wrong person won.
I think they're just building it for Davenport to take it. I think I love Meiko, but I don't want her to hold the title for too long.
And I feel she
some
is.
of the previous, because yeah, I just think it would be nice to see one of the NXT UK girls, someone like Blair Davenport, take that title and hold that, and have her hold the title for a little while.
Yeah, I would agree. Overall, I would give NXT UK this week, looking at the quality of matches, looking at who was wrestling, looking at everything overall, I'm actually going to give it a 4 sugar.
Wow, I didn't expect you to do that, because I'm thinking back and I'm going Isla Dawn versus Kaylee Ray for as good as Kaylee Ray. I mean, not as good as Angel Hayes was for a few minutes. I just feel like that just was a bit of a letdown. I did like the Rampage match. You didn't, so I was surprised, which is why I'm surprised you gave it that. I'm gonna give it 3.5 because I just don't like this Isla Dawn thing. Everything else I think was really good, but that Isla Dawn thing is just really bugging me. Why have her disqualified against not to be the enhancement talent?
Okay, I get you, but they didn't have any of the wrestlers that I really don't like for many different reasons, and they had a Sam Gradwell promo.
Yeah, gotta love a Sam Gradwell.
I'm sold.
Oh well, look, let's. I think so 3.5 sugars from myself, 4 sugars from the man, the Big Daddy Dan. Let's check out some ICW Fight Club.
We started off with Charlie Weiss versus BT Gunn. This was a typical match from a member of Thatcher's cabinet, and I know you're going to find this hard to believe. Thatcher was there at ringside, and he stepped up onto the ring apron at one point. I think it was just by mistake, and BT Gunn assaulted him. He strangled him with his tie.
I'm assuming BT Gunn wasn't following. Was following the ICW rules.
Well, he must be to attack somebody.
And then Thatcher had to come up on there and go, look, we're respectable people. We want to play by the rule, and they need to join up with Doris.
Oh my God, that would be awful. All in all, this was a great match. Charlie Weiss is Charles Weiss. Fantastic wrestler, and BT Gunn is a fantastic brawler. They worked together really well, and this all ended when there was a draped DDT 1, 2, 3 BT Gunn for the win. We then had Damien Corvin with Bonesaw versus Jack Morris with Dickie Divers. 2 big old guys.
Yeah, the moment you said Corvin and the thing, I'm like, I want to go watch ICW right now.
The good news is that the sidemen didn't get involved too much. This was left to be Corvin and Morris battering the living bejesus out of each other. You will enjoy this match. You should watch this match. As we've said so many times on our podcast, we've been guests on other podcasts when we've had people be guests on our podcast. British heavyweight wrestling is still going, and it's still going strong. And this match really, really proved it. In the end, there was another drapes DDT for the 1, 2, 3, and it was a great, great match. We then had a less great match. Oh, sorry, no, we didn't. We had a great match. It was Casey versus Angel Hayes.
Okay.
Now, this was the semi-final for the Women's World Championship tournament, where we already had Molly Spartan in the final. So was it going to be her tag team partner, Casey, or was it going to be the former She-Wolf, Angel Hayes? She was involved for a very short period of time as a She-Wolf. There were some hard hits in this match. Casey, her knee strikes are just... I don't care if you're a man, a woman, or a goat, okay? The knee strikes, if you get hit by Casey, I don't care how hard your skull is, you're going down. Brilliant match, fairly 50-50. At the end, Molly Spartan looked to interfere, but Rio came running down and counteracted Spartan's interference. This led to Angel Hayes managing to get Casey in a guillotine and make her tap. It is going to be Angel Hayes versus Molly Spartan at Fear and Loathing.
I absolutely love that. If you think back to when ICW kind of came back, there was that massive feud between Molly Spartan and Angel Hayes. They had that huge cage match, was the ICW Bard, and she lost that match. So could Angel Hayes be on her route to picking up the first, becoming the inaugural new ICW Women's Champion?
I genuinely don't know, and that makes me happy.
Gotta like that.
Do you know what else makes me happy?
What's that?
Ian Skinner versus Francesca Laguerra.
Yeah, I was wanting to watch this myself.
Have you not watched it yet?
I have not watched it yet. I have I've got a big new season of Big Mouth's out.
Oh yes, I've watched most of that already. So basically, when I'm doing matches and I'm writing them down in my little book to write them up for bodyslam.net, big shout out to bodyslam.net. Thank you very much, guys. I normally take about half a page for a match. This match took 2 pages. I don't know what to say. I mean, if you don't know Francesco Akira, watch this match because he gets to do everything that makes him absolutely phenomenal. If you think Ian Skinner is just a hitman for Thatcher's cabinet, if you think that he's just he's not. He is an absolutely bloody amazing wrestler with a ground game like you would not believe, and with strikes that just hit so hard. This was the hardest.
I sung his praises for a long time when we were kicking off. I was just like, I've seen this Ian Skinner on ICW, and I'm liking this Ian Skinner on ICW.
He hits some absolutely stunning moves. Absolutely stunning moves. The number of 2 counts in this was high.
Ian Skinner for 16 carat.
Please, WXW, book it now. Akira's flying double knee strikes look vicious. I've got to say, it was just an amazing match. Please go out of your way to watch it. I'm not going to try and explain what happened because there was too much. I struggled to follow it all. If you want to see, go on to bodyslam.net. You can read my match review. But holy sweet mother of Mary, this was an amazing match. And in the end, Akira hit the double knees for a 2 count, the double knees for another 2 count, and then put him in the butterfly suplex position and just smashed him on his face. 1, 2, 3. Brilliant match. To make up for it, we then had Aaron Acco versus Darrow. Short, sweet. Aaron Acco beat Darrow everywhere. Darrow did get some offense in this time. He got a beautiful Hurricane Rana and a nice crash somersault into the corner on Acco, but Acco beat him multiple strikes, knocked him down 1, 2, 3, pump handle shotgun slam for the win. We then had Kez Evans versus DCT. I've just had some exciting news I'll give at the end of the show. I've then had Kez Evans versus DCT with Jackson in the crowd watching and eating popcorn. This was a great match. This shows why Kez Evans is an absolute bastard. Why DCT is loved by everyone. Kez Evans, the annoying thing is, no matter how good at being a heel Kez Evans is, everyone does hate him. He is such a good wrestler. He really is. You can't argue with what he does. The DDTs he was hitting, the blood clot clutch when he locks it in is absolutely beautiful. This ended up with DCT being caught in the blood clot clutch and tapping out. Overall, ICW was brilliant this week. Go out of your way to watch that Akira Skinner match. It was just possibly the best match ICW have had this year.
There's 3 matches you mentioned that I actually really want to go see, so I definitely will be. And that there's Casey Angel Hayes. I really want to see that one, as well as that Jack Morris versus Damien Corbin. I think that'll be. I really just want to go see those ones. So
overall,
I will be watching them.
4 sugar match, 4 sugar show.
Excellent. Look at that. Dan is in a good mood. He is giving away sugar like he's
great mood.
Let's get to some British wrestling roundup. Let's look around the scene, see what everybody is up to. Starting with Progress Wrestling. They give me their return 13th of November is chapter 125, Castle of Illusion, which of course will be hosted by the charismatic Charles Crowley. So it's going to be an interesting one with him hosting. Look forward to seeing how that goes. Roy Johnson is actually going to be competing alongside Warren Banks as they face the Sunshine Machine. Although the match hasn't been announced yet, it was on the last show. But we did find out that Cara Noir did accept Nick Riley's challenge. So it's going to be Nick Riley versus Cara Noir for the Progress Championship. I'm looking forward to seeing that. It's going to be an excellent match. Both of these just phenomenal performers. Going to be good. Alexis Falcon is then taking on Mercedes Blaze. That is the semi-final of the Revelations of Divine Love. Should be an interesting match. Got any idea who you think might go through on that one?
Yes, I do. I think it's going to be Mercedes Blaze. I think she's been absolutely amazing so far this year. I think she's done so much in Progress. I think she deserves to go through.
She's always been our MVP of the Progress Women's Division, and she's 3-0 in single matches against Alexa Falcon. Well, I do fear that they are going to be pushing that storyline, so Falcon goes on to win. But we will see. Next up is the surprising number one contenders match. It is a 6-pack challenge.
It is indeed. And what a 6-pack challenge.
Yes. LK Messinger, Ethan Allen, I'm assuming this was taped prior to injury, Gene Money, Big Guns Joe, Man Like Reese, and Kid Lycos 2. I'll be honest there's not too many guys who've got a great win-loss record on that one.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going to go. I thought you were going to go with there's not many guys I could decide that wouldn't stand a chance here.
Well, I mean, let's say I think Messinger, I don't even think has won a singles match. I think Ethan Allen's probably only won 2 or 3. So that's why I say it's a very surprising number one contenders. This is open thing. You know what? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say it's going to be Kid Lycos 2.
That's exactly who I was going to pick as well.
There you go. Look at that. Dan Maloney will be facing Elijah. Of course, that was just mentioned on the show previously by Charles Crowley, who said that he had set that match up. I'm not sure. I thought he liked Elijah.
Yes, I think Elijah liked his teeth.
Yeah. And we've also got Raven Creed versus Tonga, which should be a really, really good match. It's been the second time they faced. Raven Creed has a win over Tonga previously, but she then went on to lose to Mercedes Blaze. And I guess, as I say, they haven't announced it yet, but Sunshine Machine will be taking on the 8-7 Roy Johnson and Warren Banks.
That should be a great match as well.
Indeed.
TNT. Following on from last week's Extreme Field show and TNT Ignition's Little Show of Horrors, TNT Extreme start looking forward to their final show of the year with TNT Extreme Wrestling's Cold Day in Hell on the 25th of November and Ignition's High Voltage on the 28th of November. High Voltage, that's a great name for me. I'm currently doing an electrician's course. At Cold Day in Hell, we have a fatal four-way to crown the TNT Extreme champion. We have Dean Allmark versus Nathan Cruz versus Dan Maloney versus a mystery opponent. That's quite a lineup without the mystery opponent. Go on.
Oh, they've actually announced that there will be a match to qualify for that. Do you want to know who it was? Do you know who they announced?
Yeah.
Charlie Sterling.
Yes.
Versus Adam Maxted.
What?
Yep.
That
Charlie. Sterling versus Maxted.
That's a headlining match.
It's just an absolute phenomenal match. Who do you think is going to have the best drop kick on the night? I know Maxted likes to think he is the dropkick king, but Charlie Sterling has a beautiful dropkick himself. He's a heavyweight that moves so well. It's going to be a great match. You know, I'm so glad that they put this match together. I'm sure this match has happened somewhere, but it's not a match that I've not seen yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing this on Powered 4 TV.
Me too. Right, we then have Scotty Brock versus Kid Like Us 2 for the Ultra X Championship, which would be great. Heidi Katrina versus Chantel Jordan. That is a sleeper match. That is, in fact, I don't know. It's a sleeper match. I think that's just a bloody good match. Lizzie Evo will then be taking on Alexis Falcon in an Iron Woman match for the TNT Extreme Women's Championship. Ooh, I wonder how long that's going to last.
I believe it's a 30-minute Iron Woman match. Now, of course, they've been at each other's throat all year. They started with a first match that ended up in a no contest because they were scrapping on the outside of the ring. They then decided to make it a Falls Count Anywhere, where Lizzie Evo escaped with the belt with the skin of her teeth. They then had a 2 out of 3 falls match, and if it wasn't for Angel Hazer's interference once again, Lizzie Evo escaped with the belt by the skin of her teeth. So final show of the year. Will Alexis Falcon finally overcome the TNT Women's Champion? I'm looking forward to that.
It should be interesting to see. As for TNT Ignition, they've only confirmed so far the lineup will include Scott Oberman, Cameron Solis, Simon Miller, Shreddy, Tonga, Scotty Brock, Tom Thelwell versus JJ Webb has been confirmed, and Chase Alexander versus Leon Gray.
Some good matches there. As I say, I'm a big fan of Tom Thelwell. I like Chase Alexander, and there's so many incredible young talents on the Ignition roster. In particular, Scott Oberman, of course, that new member of Northwest Strong, and the current TNT Ignition champion. Just go check out TNT Ignition. It's well worth it. Powerful TV. British Wrestling Revolution, BWR, they are going to be back on the 3rd of December with Last Stand 2021. Robbie X, Joe Hendry, 2-Bit, Scotty Walk, Will Cruz, Gia Adams, RKJ, Tyler Devlin, Miles Kamen, Reese Ryan, and Man Like the Reese are all expected to be at the show in Grimsby.
Yay! Southwest Wrestling are in Stroud on the 14th of November for Ballroom Blitz, a fantastic lineup that includes LA Taylor versus Dominita, LJ Cleary versus Nick Riley, The Boys, Flynn and Buzzsaw versus CW Davies and Brett Semtex. Brett Semtex is a great wrestling name. Eddie Ryan versus JD Knight. Charlie Sterling versus Ricky Knight Jr. That match will be awesome. Then on the 21st of November, SWW in Cardiff are Bushwhacked. And it's their Christmas-themed double weekender in Cinderford and in Bristol. And that's on the 11th and 12th of December, respectively, for Nightmare Before Crimbo Nights 1 and 2. Before finishing the year with the Bad Resolution Tour, which is a 3-day weekender in Tewkesbury on the 27th, Shipton on Stour on the 28th, and Gloucester on the 29th.
Yeah, SDW, very, very busy promotion down on that southwest coast. Yeah. LA Taylor is a absolute phenom, just somebody who is going to be breaking out as a superstar in the next year. That LJ Cleary versus Nick Riley, I think that's going to be a really, really good match. Plus, that's Sterling Ricky Knight Jr. Really, just brilliant.
Yeah, not going to argue with that. It's great.
Yeah, Wrestling Resurgence. Resurgence are in Leicester on the 20th of November. They've actually officially sold out. And I'm not quite surprised with this lineup. It includes Cora Noir versus Spike Trevay, Lycos Jim versus BDSM, Rhea O'Reilly versus Shakara, Elijah versus Debbie Keitel versus Roy Johnson versus Mad Kurt versus Jetta, RJ Singh versus Harry Singh, Gene Money, Jern Simmons, and Visage in a triple threat. I mean, what a card.
Great card. Absolutely great card. Last match there, Gene Money, Jern Simmons, and Visage. It's going to be great. Jurassic Pro Wrestling. After announcing last week that LK Messenger and Elijah will be making their debuts on the second show, Life Finds a Way, on the 12th of December, JPW have announced that Heidi Katrina will also be making their debut, as well as favourites BDSM, the Lads, CJ Carter, and Forrest Hayes. They'll all be returning for the sold-out second show. Jurassic Pro Wrestling have also announced the first matchup, which will see CJ Carter welcome Elijah to Jurassic Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, I remember the big fat chief of the
Stephen
tribal
Southern.
Yes, he's actually, so Jurassic Pro Wrestling, get in touch with us, let us know how we can watch, because his young son really wants to watch CJ Carter versus Elijah. Unfortunately, they can't make the show in person. Yeah, if you can get in touch with us, let us know how we could possibly watch your show. We would love to see the first one, maybe give you a view if you up for it. Anyway, Spirit Pro Wrestling have announced 3 more matches for their second show redo on the 21st of November in Sheffield. We've got Brady Phillips versus Philip Michael versus H Block. Great little matchup there, some excellent young talent. Adam Bolt will be with Jack Turner as he faces Gia Adams. Joe Wade will be facing off against Terry Izzet. And that, of course, adds to the already announced Battle Squad Awesome versus HD Drake and David DeVille, plus Chantel Jordan versus Ivy. That card is really, really shaping up.
Yeah. Reach Wrestling are in St. Austell on the 13th of November. We have Nick Riley versus Lee Hunter, Kian Fox and Big Country versus Beauty and the Beast, Lance Cole and Lucian Phillips, Jim Diehard versus Grayson Reeves, Amadeus versus Jordan Sparks versus Joe Costa Academy. Versus Joe Costa. There's an academy match between LA Taylor and Sky Smithson. That is going to be absolutely awesome. I've cocked that up. Amadeus versus Jordan Sparks versus Joe Costa is the Academy Championship match. LA Taylor will be taking on Sky Smithson in a standard one-on-one match. Ruby will taking on Aurora, and after that, Reach will be in Plymouth for the 5th of December, announcing 3 matches for the show so far, including one of our favourites, Charlie Sterling versus Eddie Ryan, the English Lion, Yeston Reese versus Toby Valentine, and Grayson Reeves and Bullet versus PJ Jones and DBJ.
How is Yeston Reese literally not on every show in the UK? I mean, the guy looks like $1 million. He's, and as far as I know, he's pretty much working Reach and PCW. He's a health nutritionist. He's helping a lot of guys get into shape. But please, guys, book this man. He's a just genetically.
And also, he seems to be like one of the nicest guys out there. We've interviewed quite a few people. We've been very lucky to get some great interviews, and everyone speaks about how wonderful and lovely Yeston Reese is. Yeah,
and as you say, Charlie Sterling and Eddie Ryan, that just should be a great match. A couple of our favourites, UKPW, good old Alex. UKPW, Danny Black is the new inter-regional champion after he picked up a win in a 6-man ladder match at Tables, Ladders, and Scares.
Oh my.
Also at Tables, Ladders, and Scares, Evie Madden and Kira Chimera won their respective semi-final matches, and they will now face off in the finals for the UKPW Women's Championship. This is the first ever UKP Women's Championship. The 2 ladies will clash at straight out of Falconwood on 27th of November. Gonna be an absolutely fantastic match. Also announced for straight out of Falconwood, 2 Good Eggs, JJ Lynch and Rex Armstrong versus The Business for the Tag Team Championships. Plus, Dow Jones finally faces Alexander Roth for that UKPW title. And I'm telling you now, Alexander Roth is going to be out for vengeance.
Amen. World War Wrestling are at the Capel St. Mary Community Centre on the 13th of November. They've announced 2 matches, and oh my God, how good are these 2 matches? The first one is Just Joe Lando versus Callum Newman. Oh, it's going to be brilliant.
First time ever singles match.
Yeah, World War Wrestling are lucky to have signed this one up. And the other match announced, Truman Roswell versus Tommy Kyle as the Bad Altitude tag team partners collide. Now, I've seen both of these guys wrestle a number of times, and this match is going to be brilliant. So well done, World War Wrestling. You are putting on a great-looking show so far.
Yes, some good talent there. Shropshire Wrestling Alliance, the SWW, they've announced 2 matches for their upcoming show, No Cons, Just Wrestling. And that's going to be at the Dawley Town Hall on the 20th of November. It's going to be Man Like the Reese versus Warren Banks, which again, I think is a first time ever singles match.
Really?
Possibly. I mean, I'd have to really double check that, but I can't think of any show that I've seen Man Like the Reese versus Warren Banks. So that's a fantastic match. Plus, it's going to be Lee Hunter versus Martin Kirby, 2 absolute legends. I'm sure, you know, if you're out there, a young wrestler, you know, go watch, get away your way to watch that match because you're going to learn so much.
Right. Catch Pro Wrestling head into the final night of their Enigma series. We are excited about this. Tom Felwell on 4 points is going up against Joe Kessler on 0 points. 2-Bit on 2 points versus Dynamite Lee on 2 points. Keenan Krishna on 0 points versus Joe Hayes on 2 points. Scotty Rock on 2 points versus Kev Lloyd on 4 points. You can explain this one better than I can, can't you?
Yeah, so we've got 2 blocks there. So it's Tom Farewell, Joe Kessler, 2-Bit, and Dynamite Lee. Tom Farewell, no matter what happens, he is going to advance to the next round because he has wins over 2-Bit and Dynamite Lee. So even if he loses and whoever wins that match, it wouldn't matter. Tom Farewell has the match advantage as the winner of the matches previously. It is the block B where things get a little bit more exciting. I mean, Keenan Krishna on 0 points is not going to be, you know, he's out. But it'll be interesting to see if Joey Hayes picks up the win and gets up to 4 points. If Scotty Warwick on 2 points currently defeats Kev Lloyd on 4 points, he would go through with the match advantage of winning over Kev Lloyd. But of course, if Joey Hayes also wins and goes on to 4 points and Scotty Warwick wins on 4 points, then things are going to get really confusing. But there has been a real tight rivalry between Tom Farewell and Scotty Rourke, but Kev Lloyd is somebody that they've been very hot on Catch Pro as well. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top of that block B. But they've got 2 more matches.
They have indeed. Lycos Jim and Big Guns Joe versus Miles Kamen, Rio, and Tonga is going to be great. And Chris Ridgway versus Scott Oberman. Scott Oberman, of course. Yeah, this is just going to be great, isn't it?
Yeah, so Scott Oberman, as we mentioned, has become a member of the Northwest Strong faction, headed up by Chris Ridgway. So that's going to be, as you say, an absolute awesome to see what happens there. Of course, Keenan Krishna and Joe Kessler are also members of Northwest Strong. So Catch Pro are Northwest Strong supporters, although they don't use them as a faction yet. I'd like to see them. I know the Young Guns, unfortunately, Ethan Allen out at the moment, but I'd love to see that whole faction of the 5 start to dominate literally every promotion in the UK because they deserve to.
Yeah, definitely. Tidal Wrestling are back at the Leeds Museum once again, and I know you've been desperate to go to one of their shows, haven't you?
I have. I mean, the Leeds Museum is just such an interesting venue to choose. I've heard so many good things about Tidal Wrestling. We had Crash Boat on, Jack and Joe were just absolutely Jack and Jake are just fantastic guys, and they had so many good things to say about the guys over at Tidal Wrestling. Yeah. And you can't blame them. This double header Christmas show, 18th of December. In the afternoon it's Krampus, and in the evening it's Silent Nightmare. Got quite a few good lineups so far. Will Cruz, Dara Diablo, Tom Farewell, Joe Wade, Seb Strife, and Serico, Rio, Ace Matthews and Big Guns Joe will all be there. So should be a good show.
It does look like a great show. Kamikaze Pro are putting on a great show in Digbeth for their Underground 7 on November the 14th, at which Hustle Malone will be presenting his main event Massacre. This is his open challenge multi-man match, and it's only available to new debutants. So we've got Simon Miller, Warren Banks, and Elijah who have answered the call. That's a great little lineup for that match. Previously announced for the show, Chantal Jordan versus Chris Ridgway. That's going to be violent. Lana Austin versus Session Moth Martina. That's going to be fun. And the Bled, Clint Margera and Luke Hero versus the 0121 Man Like Doris and Dan Maloney. And that's going to be hard hitting as well.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really violent. But as you say, Chantal Jordan versus Chris Ridgway, that's a match I'm definitely 100% looking forward to seeing that one. Odyssey Pro Wrestling, OPW, are in Blackpool on the 20th of November. They'll be raising money for Brian House Children's Hospital on the day. There'll be a tables, ladders, and chairs match with Born Ready, Synergy, Reese, and Rogan. You've also got Sandy Beach versus Big Guns Joe versus Keenan versus Rob Drake. Although there's been, I'm sorry we missed this, we should have mentioned it earlier. Sandy Beach is also currently out with an injury. I believe he re-injured his shoulder. So so he may not be available for the match. Yes. You then got Mickey Barnes and Nate Reese versus The Freak Show, along with Isaac Quinn. You got 2-Bit versus Nick Cutter. They are two fantastic young competitors. Melanie Price versus Helena Razor. Again, two fantastic young competitors. And then Ryan Hunter versus Scotty Rourke. They've really been building Hunter as this baby face at OPW. And at the same time, they've really been playing Scotty Rourke up as the heel over in OPW. So it's quite good.
Now, I'm going to let you do Wrestle Island because you have written up the next match, and I think you can explain it better than I can. So I'm going to hand over to you for Wrestle Island.
Yeah, Wrestle Island have come up with another absolute cracker of a match for their red light, green light show, of course, taking influence from the incredible Squid Games that everybody is watching on Netflix right now. You should watch it in Korean with subtitles because that's terrible. Anyway, we told you last week about the red light, green light match, which will have 6 competitors and one, which will be 1 pinfall to the finish. But during the match, there will be intermittent intervals where you'll hear the red light buzzer, at which point everyone must stay perfectly still, no matter their position or face elimination from the match. They must stay that way until they hear the green light buzzer.
Now, as a DJ who plays musical statues a lot, I think this is going to be great. I cannot wait to see people in Fisherman Busters and that kind of thing.
Now, somebody mentioned the fact that what if somebody's actually in a pin? Well, no, I think the referee has to stop, not count the pin, and that person gets away, probably gets free afterwards. I think it's going to be a phenomenal idea. I can't remember the guy who runs Wrestle Island, but what do you even to come up with such a match? It just it's not the same. You know what I would do, but what just an incredible decision to do such a match, and what Wrestle Island do. That's such a fun family show. They're very representative of all people. It's Wrestle Island all over.
And of course, we'll be able to watch this, won't we?
We will. This will be available on Powered 4 TV. In fact, their last show has just gone up on Powered 4 TV. So go check that out. I will be this weekend. And of course, as I said, they've now come up with an even more cracking game. It is the Squid Game Soul Survivor Scramble. It is a fatal 4-way elimination match. Pinfall, submission, knockout, countout, and DQ. There are many ways to win the match, but you can only use it once. So if somebody...
So if there's been a DQ, there can't be another one.
Yes, and if somebody wins by pinfall, there can't be another pinfall, and it would have to be either a submission or a knockout or a count out.
That's brilliant.
I know, again, that's what I'm saying. It's not something I would do, but just such a creative idea for a match. I absolutely love it. I do. Yes, as I say, it's not something if I was to run a promotion, but it just suits. It's Wrestle Island all over. And we have got the contestants for that matchup. It is Sean Only, Hustle Malone, Jade, and Danish wrestler Carlos Zamora. This was also added to the show of Joe Kessler versus Terry Izzet, and the Von Engelens will also be in action.
Speaking of the Von Engelens, they will be in action for Future Wrestling. There'll be action in their Snow Way Out show on the 4th of December in Sutton-on-Ashfield. Did you know the Von Engelens are from Stevenage originally?
I did not know that. So
there's your useless information for today. They'll be facing Future Wrestlers Act 2. Previously announced, we also have Mark Sanders versus David Grant and Hustle Malone versus Brett Myers.
Yeah, some interesting matches up there. DNA Pro Wrestling are going to be back in action in Ipswich on the 18th of December with I Am in Danger. At which point, Big Effin' Joe has issued an open challenge stating he will take on anybody. CJ Carter will be making his return to DNA, as well as the Voodoo Queen Amara, who will also be making her return.
Purpose Wrestling have announced that Jordan Breaks, Doug Williams, Nino Bryant, who is the current lightweight champion, and David Francesco will team up to take on Destination Everywhere, OJMO, Connor Mills, and the NIC Northern Ireland Connection, Ocean Delaney and Charlie Carter at Puppies Are For Everywhere. Puppies Are For Everywhere? Puppies Are Forever. On the 11th of December. Yeah, true. At the Merton Art Space in Wimbledon. Previously announced are the Good Eggs, JJ Lynx and Rex Armstrong taking on Jordan Said and RJ Singh.
Yeah, you know, we've talked about Purpose Wrestling. We are big fans of what they're doing. I love the fact that they do use a good size ring. And I love the fact that they've done that because they haven't got a huge space where they actually have the show, but they haven't compromised. They haven't gone, well, we'll get more people in if we get a smaller ring. I love the fact they're using a proper size ring. They put on some great shows so far. Go check them out. They're all free on YouTube to watch. David Francesco is somebody that I've been so impressed with as a heavyweight.
Now, this is one of those moments in podcasting where reality gets in the way, and I'm going to have to just run off very quickly and deal with a small person. Please explain to everyone all of the exciting things that are going to be happening with Wrestle Carnival.
Wrestle Carnival, Carnival Mania. Wrestle Carnival's final show for this year is on the 14th of November. This weekend, it's an incredible card. Joe Simi and Lion Kid versus Charles Crowley in a one-on-one contest. The Carnival twat Charles Crowley has had a deck stacked against him once again. It's going to be a cracking match. It's been ever since the beginning. The first show, which we were at for Wrestle Carnival, has been an issue with Lion Kid and Charles Crowley, as Charles Crowley stole the mask of Lion Kid. And Joe Simi, of course, the fan that came out of nowhere, who I am 100% sure it is John Cena in a mask. You know, he hit the 5 moves of Dooms perfectly. No one can do that but John Cena, because those 5 moves, there's only John Cena can perform them. So anyway, elsewhere on the show, there will be a 6-man tag, 6-woman tag, if you like, as Rio will be teaming with Visage and Heidi Katrina. They take on the replacement Gia Adams, who is replacing Zoe Lucas from the show, who unfortunately cannot make the show anymore. We look forward to seeing her back in the ring as soon as possible, because she's an amazing performer. We love Zoe Lucas. But Gia Adams is a phenomenal powerhouse. She'll be teaming with Giselle Shaw and Alexis Falcon. That is going to be an excellent 6-woman tag match. You got a fatal 4-way: Man Like the Reese versus Danny Black versus Just Joe Lando versus Adam Bolt. Again, this should be an absolute fantastic, reminiscent of that fatal 4-way that we were there for, that had Maverick Mayhew, who we'll be talking about a little bit later, as well as Just Joe Lando, Danny Black, and of course Callum Newman. That was incredible. I'm sure this Fatal 4-Way will be exactly that.
My favourite match of the year so far was that original Fatal 4-Way.
Indeed, it was. We've also got a great women's match: Lana Austin versus Alec Windsor. I can't wait to see this match. This is a match that I'm really, really looking forward to. Another six-man tag is Sean Custom teams with Miles Kamen and Nathan Cruz. They'll be taking on Will Cruz, Powerhouse Blake, and Brady Phillips, the Powerhouse heavyweight team. Of course, Nathan Cruz has got one of the best veteran minds in the business. I'm sure it won't be a rollover as many could expect. Next up, of course, is Chris Ridgway versus Francesca Laguerra in a submissions rule match. Hopefully, if both of them actually are returned and recover from their injury, of course, both of them just pulled out of the British J-Cup. We really hope that they will be there, because it's going to be what a match. And then in the main event, Joe Hendry versus Doug Williams in an ROH Pure Rules match. The amateur wrestler Joe Hendry versus the classic British wrestler Doug Williams. I mean, in a pure match as well. Bring it on. Oh, and I forgot Jay Joshua versus Elijah. How did I forget that? Powerhouse, stiff. That's going to be another great match. It is a fantastic lineup. And if you check out the latest episode from the Johners podcast, on their preview show for Wrestle Carnival, which myself and Dan were there, and we go into huge detail about all of these matches. Go check that out now, as well as checking out the whole John's podcasting network. You can get it on an app right now. There are so many amazing wrestling podcasts that are all part of this John's podcasting network, including us. So just go check that out.
Basically, whatever kind of wrestling you're into, the John's Podcast Network will have something for you. Whether you're into Japanese wrestling, American wrestling, whether you're into hardcore wrestling, whether you're into vintage wrestling, or you want to look at old school wrestling, you name it, John's Podcast Network will have something for you. So do have a look and do listen to us, because hell, we know our stuff.
Indeed, we love British wrestling. And of course, Wrestle Carnival, we're not done there. They've organized a special so next year they've announced, of course, Carnival of Champions. They've announced an incredible match.
Oh yes, I'm going to be there.
Tiska, the former Alexander Wolf, will be going one-on-one with the answer Joe Hendry. Before the show, young wrestlers out there will be a wrestling clinic that will be headed up by the amazing Axel Tiska. They've also announced the entire 2022 calendar as known so far, which I think is fantastic, because now I can look ahead and I can book ahead to some hotels for like £30 rather than paying 60, 50 to £100 sometimes for hotel rooms. I think if you can book them early enough, you can get Premier in for like £30.
My wife and I were discussing this because she's very excited to come along to a Wrestle Carnival match. So I shall make sure that I get at least one of these matches booked up for us both to go to.
Yeah, so you got Carnival of Champions on January the 30th. On March 26th, they've got Mardi Gras, a one-night tournament. That sounds interesting. On May 21st, the hunt is on. On July 30th, it will be the anniversary show. I can imagine it's going to be great. Then there's going to be Carnival of Honor 2 on September the 10th, as well as November 26th, Carnival Mania 2. 6 incredible. I believe they're all going to be at the Portland Center, but I do know he's got a new venue possibly lined up. So we could possibly be seeing a couple more shows added to that list.
Indeed. Superstar Pro Wrestling have announced 2 more matches for their Super Starcade on the 11th of December. Danny Proper and Oscar Byron are going to be going up against Made to Last, Leon Gray and Ryan Thorne, as well as Big T versus Isaac North. Previously announced for that show, there is a 20-person rumble to crown the first ever Superstar Pro champion.
Looking forward to that one. That also will be available on Powered 4 TV. Black Country Championship Wrestling, BCCW, have announced their first match for Xmas Gimmicks on the 3rd of December in Dudley, which is Lee Hunter versus Rufio.
Fight Nation Wrestling, FNW, have announced that at their Magnificent 7 show on the 25th of November in Eastbourne, Clementine will be going up against Sky Smithson in the Female Fight League match. Clementine is on 0-2 so far, whereas Sky Smithson is on 0-1, who will pick up their first points in this competition. Also at the show will be the Magnificent 7 ladder match to crown a Z-Force champion. Connor Mills versus Callum Newman versus Just Joe Lando versus Big Guns Joe versus Kit Knox and Mark True, plus one more mystery competitor.
That's a lineup, isn't it? That's just, I mean, you might as well book a show just on that Magnificent 7 ladder match. It's just going to be amazing. Prime Wrestling Entertainment. I will be at Prime Wrestling Entertainment this Saturday the 13th. I'm really excited about this lineup. Tommy Zane versus Mickey Limerick versus Liam Slater versus H.T. Drake. Now, on the poster, it's still actually advertising Jason Biggs for the match, although I have been told he has been removed from the card, so it'll be interesting to see on the day. Other than that, Rebecca Resner, TNT's favorite. We love Rebecca Resner. We also love Gia Adams, who she will be facing. That's going to be a great match. Oliver Barrett versus David Lynn, two fantastic young competitors. That's So Raven versus Crash Boat XL, which is Crash Boat with Jack Turner. We're big fans of Crash Boat. Hi there, guys. We do love old Jake Silver and Jack Bandicoot. They are so much fun, so innovative in the ring. Really looking forward to that matchup. Leon Slater is taking on Ryan Ace. Again, two fantastic young competitors. And then Dan Maloney versus Shreddy. Ooh, yeah.
Who's got the better abs?
Who's got the beef? They got the beef.
Should we go to Japan?
Yeah, let's talk about some British wrestling from around the world. I'll start with some DDT. Grand Prix, the DDT Grand Prix have kicked off this past week on the 3rd of November. Although Chris Brookes did not have a GP match on that first day, he did compete in a hardcore deathmatch tag team alongside his fellow British superstar, Drew Parker. And if you love deathmatch wrestling, if you love hardcore wrestling, this is a match that you want to go watch right now. I did try to watch this, but they actually unsubscribed everyone recently, which I didn't realize. It's because they've for the next couple of months, the service is going to be free to use. So you can sign. So basically, they signed up, unsubscribed everyone, so people can resubscribe. Have October, November, December free, and then of course in January they would have to pay, and of course cancel in January. So I haven't had a chance to watch these matches yet, because on the 6th of November he did have his first DDT Pro match. So I promise I will watch those next week, as well as his upcoming match on the 11th, which I believe is against Konosuke Takeshita again, and that's going to be an absolute brilliant match.
Tell you what, would you like me to watch the hardcore death match for you?
Yeah, I'll send you a link.
Thank you. New Japan Pro Wrestling. I am currently wearing one of my favourite T-shirts that I own, my Zack Sabre Jr. T-shirt. I fight with my brain and with an underlying hatred of the British Conservative Party. Love Zack Sabre Jr. Unfortunately, he failed in his attempt to capture the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at this weekend's NJPW Power Struggle after defeating champion Shingo Tagaki during the G1 Climax, which entitled him to a shot at the championship. He's still one half of the tag team champions, though, along with Tai Chi as the Dangerous Techers.
Yeah, it was a really good match. I did see this one. Not as good as their match in the G1 Climax, possibly because Zack Sabre didn't win. But still a really, really good match. Again, technical. From a standpoint, you know, Zack Sabre Jr. is just a phenomenal wrestler. What he lacks in that big physical side, you know, he's got that tall, wiry frame. He's able to just tie people up in knots. Doesn't matter who you are, how big you are. He knows how to take you down to the mat. And dominate you, and just a really, really good match. So go out your way to check that out.
Indeed.
Over
New
to
Japan
America,
Strong.
but staying with New Japan. Go for it.
Me? Okay. Will Ospreay was in the latest New Japan World Strong, where he teamed with TJP as part of the United Empire to face the team of Ren Narita and Clark Connors. This November 13th at NJPW Strong's Battle for the Valley, he will face Ren Narita in a one-on-one contest.
Yeah, it's got a great lineup as well for the rest of the show. Juice Robinson versus Moose, Kazuchika Okada versus Buddy Matthews in his first match since leaving the WWE, I believe.
Yep.
Tomohiro Ishii versus Jay White for the Never Openweight title. Fred Rosser, Rocky Romero, David Finley, Alex Coughlin, and Alex Zane all teamed together to take on Tom Lawler's team of Tom Lawler, JR Kratos, Danny Limelight, Royce Isaacs, and Nelson. They're back in action on the 15th of November.
They are indeed, where Will Ospreay will team with Jeff Cobb and TJP to take on the LAD Dojo team of Carl Fredericks, Clark Connors, and Ren Narita. Fred Rosser will also take on Tom Lawler for the New Japan Strong Open Championship, and Tomohiro Ishii will be taking on Brody King. Chris Dickinson and Alex Zane versus Jay White and Hiquelo. I can never pronounce it, which is rubbish of me. Leo Rush, assuming he hasn't retired, and Adrian Quest versus Tyler Bateman and Mysterioso. Plus, Gabriel Kidd will face Jonathan Gresham in his first match since his emotional return. How excited are you for this match?
I'm super pumped for this match. It's amazing to see Gabriel Kidd back. I love that emotional promo he recently gave. He was so open about his life and his struggles and just everything that he was dealing with. And Jonathan Gresham, I mean, I said it at the earlier show. Yes, I know we're all about the British wrestlers here, but Jonathan Gresham is one of the best wrestlers in the world. And Gabriel Kidd was having amazing matches with Yota Tsuji and Yuya Uemura, which all worth checking out. And great to see Kidd back in action and great opponent.
Indeed. Gabriel Kidd will also be making an appearance for PWX Wrestling's What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger on the 20th of November, facing off with James D. Drake.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Will Ospreay again will be at Warrior Wrestling 17. Another young British wrestling, British wrestling competitor. It's not a British superstar, but the Spanish superstar, Carlos Romo, will actually also be making his return to Warrior Wrestling. He'll be taking on others, including Thunder Rosa, Fuego del Sol, Chelsea Green, Brody King, Blake Christian, and more.
AEW, Jamie Hayter has moved on in the semi-finals of the TBS Women's Championship after she defeated Anna Jay. Well done, Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, this was fantastic. I again, it was one of the ones I wanted to try and watch prior to this. I will admit that some of the podcasts that I listened to weren't particularly nice about their match. They did say that obviously Jamie Hayter, the right person, did go through. I'm super pumped for Hayter to go through. She's going to be facing off against Thunder Rosa next. I'd like to see, because Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa have that kind of rivalry. I'd probably like to see Jamie Hayter go over Thunder Rosa with Britt Baker's help. I think that'd be great I think Thunder Rosa is the perfect opponent. Now she'll have a good match. She's got somebody who's on her level. No offense to some of the people that she's taken on in AEW so far, but they're not on Jamie Hayter's level.
Harsh.
Well, it's not harsh. It's just the fact that Jamie Hayter is phenomenal.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
As these because they put a lot of young, slightly green competitors over in the AEW women's division. They got a few standouts: Hikaru Shida, Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker, and then the rest of this whistles along the thing. But Jamie Hayter is an excellent addition. I think she's perfect. And go Hayter, go UK.
Indeed. And our final story before our very important, very exclusive, very exciting news. Bodyslam Wrestling in Denmark. Doug Williams will be facing Carlos Zamora at Anarchy in the DK in Copenhagen. Session Moth Martina, put your teeth in, Daniel, will be facing Inca Liss. And Sunshine Machine will be a Bodyslam show on the 10th of December where they'll have a tag team title shot in their back pocket.
Yeah.
They're very tight pockets.
Yeah, Bodyslam Wrestling have been doing some amazing things over in Denmark. I believe you can actually watch Bodyslam through WXW on demand. I think they have a partnership with those guys. I know on IWTV there was recently a big show called Scandi Graps, which is a great exhibition of some of the best Scandinavian wrestlers over there at the moment, so might be worth checking out. Maybe, I mean, we got the IWTV because we watch Wrestle Carnival title short and a few others on there. So North Wrestling, of course, just joined there, so maybe it'll be one that we do pick up. But let's get on to our biggest announcement today. I mean, we've
no. I've got another announcement before that.
Oh, one more announcement before that. Go for it. I know you're excited for this one. I'm excited for this one. Tell us who we're excited for.
During this very podcast, we have confirmed our next celebrity interview. We are going to be interviewing the amazing Maverick Mayhew.
Again, somebody we wanted to have on the show for a long time. We saw him at Wrestle Carnival. Of course, he is very, very close friends with Just Joe Lando. Just Joe Lando has so many good things to say about Maverick Mayhew. I remember when we had Alex Gilbert on, again, so complimentary of Maverick Mayhew, as was... Oh, God, there's been a lot of people who have told us. Chris Hatch is another one who's mentioned Maverick Mayhew as a superstar in the making. And he is. He's got good size to him. He's an athletic. He's over. I'm sure we'll see him on FNW soon. He was a former Z-Force champion over there. He's doing really good things with UKPW.
And he's just had that amazing Mel Mason lightweight championship match with Nino over in Rumble Wrestling.
He really did. So, and of course, local to... well, what used to be me, but local to yourself, and he lives in around that area and does a lot of work in the East Anglia region. So fantastic news. And now, changing the landscape of professional wrestling in the UK. I'm joking. We are not Tony Khan. But what is a big announcement and something we are so proud to be announcing is we are joining forces out there with Powered for TV. You've heard us mention them throughout this show. The amount of amazing British wrestling promotions that Powered for TV work with is incredible. They reached out to us because of our work and what we try to do for British wrestling, and we've come up with an amazing partnership where we will be an affiliate for them. We will have our own channel, so it'll be a new location for TNT Sport. Of course, you will still see us on the bodyslam.net. You will still see us as part of the Jonna's podcasting network. You'll see us everywhere. We will be doing some Powered for TV exclusives, which will be previewing some of the biggest shows coming up, which will then be featured on Powered for TV, possibly some review shows, maybe even a weekly what's coming up on Bodyslam TV. Who knows? But I can tell you one thing, that if you go sign up for for Powered for TV right now and use the promo code TPOD, that's TEAPOD, you will get 1 free month of Powered for TV. So that is TPOD, TEAPOD. Go get yourself a month free of Powered for TV. Go watch Catch Pro Wrestling. Go watch Wrestle Island. Go watch TNT Extreme, TNT Ignition, DNA Pro Wrestling, Ignite Pro Wrestling, Superstar Pro Wrestling,
The Lancashire
Force
Wrestling Federation.
The Lancashire Wrestling Federation. There are so many incredible, especially actually in that northeast region. And yeah, it's just up and down the countries. So many great shows, so many amazing British wrestling. It is the Netflix for British wrestling.
It is. It's a great chance to go and watch some amazing British shows, and for free for a month. You can't go wrong. T-Pod. T-E-A-P-O-D.
It's as simple as that. And of course, we thank Powered 4 TV for this opportunity to be working with them. As we just mentioned, just such a great promotion for what they do for British wrestling. What we do for British wrestling is what we set out to do. It was what was our original mandate? Let's review NXT UK, and then it just kept evolving. It just kept getting more, and I wanted to go deeper into it. I wanted to look at Rev Pro and Progress, and then we got deeper and we talked about Wrestle Carnival. We've had so many incredible guests on our show. We are blessed for what the reaction we've had for this show that's just over a year old. Obviously, we started out as TNT, it's the premier wrestling, and then it was a thing, and then of course it was TNT, the Great British Wrestling Podcast, and myself, Daniel. Of course, we couldn't do any of it if we weren't for the support of you guys out there, the support from the guys in the industry that come out and supported us to say, look what these guys are doing. You should listen to these. Great roundup of the British thing. It's just exactly what we've wanted to do. Well, not what we wanted to do, it's just what we ended up wanting to do, I guess.
We've been very lucky. We've taken something that we thought we'd do as a bit of a laugh, and it seems that you guys are all enjoying it. You're listening regularly, you're watching regularly, and we're getting lots of support and love. So thank you so much for letting us do what we do. Thank you, Power 4 TV, for recognising that and letting us do what we want to do. And
thank you, Jonathan Podcasting Network. Thank you, Bodyslam.net.
And thank you to our other halves for letting us out to do all these things.
Your other half, she created TNT, really. If we wouldn't be TNT without your other half. And of course, my other half actually does all the video editing for the show. Fantastic support. And one guy especially is Whatever Man, the great big fat chief of the Big Fat Geeks. He, again, this wouldn't exist without him if he wasn't the one that pushed myself and yourself to really do this. And he's kept pushing us and he's kept supporting us. We love having him on the show on the regular.
Back soon, Stephen Sam.
Yeah, indeed. So go check out Power 4 TV. Go put in the promo code TPOD, TAPOD. Go check out Bodyslam.net, where Daniel Allen does the ICW recap and review. And of course, I do a lot of other British wrestling articles along the way, progress. I do some WXW Germany stuff. I know we say we are a Brit Wres, but we like to include WX Germany in that because they've provided so many amazing talents for British wrestling.
I have indeed. So,
with that said,
end the way we always end. We have been
the Great British Wrestling Podcast, TNT, and we hope you've had a great time. And remember, folks, don't feed the trolls.